Okay, how's everybody doing this evening? Of course, my name is Kent, and the channel is EOS San Diego, and I make a nightly broadcast about the EOS blockchain. And tonight, what I want to talk about is I want to talk about the market. Actually, I want to talk about Bitcoin in relationship to EOS. And right now, you're looking at CoinGecko, which is an indicator of what's going on in the overall crypto market. And of course, Bitcoin is down, EOS is down, mostly down. Everything is down. We are in a bear market, and we've been in one for quite some time. And we need something to pull us out of the bear market, some stimulus to take us out of these low prices, these all this red that we're constantly seeing whenever we pull up Coin Market Cap or we pull up CoinGecko or any of these different pages that we see all these coins. All we're seeing is red. I mean, we see this day after day after day. It's been going on for a while. So what is it going to take to get this market back on track and get us out of these days where nothing seems to be going up? And I think there could be something coming up very soon. And I want to make mention of this because there's, I want to read this. A Bitcoin ETF will eventually be approved, SEC commissioner says. So I had the video Les Rogan and Jack Dorsey last night from Twitter, where he's talking about Bitcoin and he's talking about how he thinks it's going to be world currency. And of course, I talked a little bit about that. The reason it's not going to be world currency is because of this, which is basically blocktivity. And you can see that the blocktivity transactions per second are way low on Bitcoin and Ethereum versus EOS, because you're going to need a high speed, high throughput in order to get lots of transactions. And you can see this really easily. It's really funny here. On the 7-day average, EOS is 68.3% of activity, but it's only 2.9% of market cap. So you can see that EOS is pulling most of the blockchain activity, but it's a very small percentage of the market cap. And of course, Bitcoin's 81%. So I would argue strongly with Dorsey about whether Bitcoin is going to be able to handle that kind of activity. But anyway, back to the ETF thing. So here's a commissioner, and he's talking about eventually ETFs are going to be approved by the Security and Exchange Commission. And the reason, this is why we need an ETF. Because if you got an ETF, you're not going to have to understand a private coin. If you do it through an exchange, if you do it through a fund, you're not going to have to manage a wallet. All these friction points that we have as people that own cryptocurrency can all be erased with an ETF. All you need to do now, if we can get this approved by the Security and Exchange Commission, is just call your online broker, TD Ameritrade, Charles Schwab, whoever you use, and you could make this purchase of Bitcoin without being fearful of losing your private key, or you're managing your wallet correctly, or knowing where your crypto's at, or doing something where you don't bring this online at all. And all these problems that we deal with as far as entry points are concerned can be erased. There will be a very easy entry point through an ETF. So I want to read what he says. Eventually, do I think someone will satisfy the standards that are laid out there? I hope so. Yes, I think so. Getting the stamp of approval from the deepest and most liquid capital markets in the world is hard, and it should be. Once we make it available to everyone, mom and pop investors, we are taking risk that the Americans can get hurt. We are taking risks that Americans can get hurt. Okay, so basically what he's saying is this is, we're going to take the risk out of this thing. And this is another interesting thing here. Today is what, February 7th, I believe. Yeah, or February 8th. Okay, the interview, which could only be officially published, can't read tonight, on February 11th. So we're getting some advanced information here, even though it's being released right now because I'm reading it to you. This may become hopefully a news in a couple days. So I don't know if it'll affect the market or not, but this could possibly be positive for the market. Features an optimistic but cautious Jackson. According to Commissioner, the previous application showed Important flaws in relation to liquidity protection. Okay, here's the reasons why we're not going up right now in market. Because of liquidity protections, protections against manipulations, and various issues related to custody, service, and other legal aspects. Okay, right here, the custody issue. And of course, that's what we're talking about as far as managing private keys and wallets and so forth. So what I find, and that's why I think certain companies or certain applications are so successful over others, because they're easy to use. I don't think that I don't think that Facebook was the best application out there. I don't think Twitter is the best application out there. I don't think the ones that made it were the very best. I think the reason they make it is because they're easy, they're friendly, they're user friendly. The interface is easy to use, and people can do it very easily. YouTube's very easy and friendly to use. Any kind of obstacle or hurdle to using something is going to cause it not to get mass adoption. Right now, we need a way to bring more people aboard the cryptocurrencies, and of course, the ETFs will do that. And of course, if the ETFs bring people into Bitcoin, they'll bring people into EOS too. I think if ETFs get approved for Bitcoin, they'll be approved for other cryptos, including EOS. So in other words, rather than going and creating a wallet on the links, creating a wallet through one of the other places or doing something, and then going and buying Bitcoin and then converting that to EOS so you can buy EOS, all these things that we have to go through in order to buy EOS, they could all be erased very simply with an ETF. So an ETF where you can purchase it very easily through an online broker. That's going to bring mass adoption. That's going to bring more people aboard. And that's going to make these prices go up a lot higher. And that's going to make this mainstream. And that's what we need. So this idea that the SEC is getting very close to approving a ETF for Bitcoin is very, very significant. Not to mention, I'm reading a lot of stuff about a pro-government right now that's pro-business, and a Trump administration that's trying to be pro-business, promote business. He's basically saying, we want more, we want stronger a business community. We don't want to put restrictions and taxes and stuff on people, and we want things to grow. So this is the best way to make things grow, let things grow, is to have a cryptocurrency, to have a digital currency, easily traded, that people can buy without all the burdens of government regulation and taxes and all the other things that come with a traditional fiat currency. So I think this is significant, and I hope it does happen, because this could definitely help the price. And we need something like this to trigger the price. There's going to have to be some event in the near future that happens that gets people's attention, and I believe this could be one of them. I've talked about this for a while, among a lot of other things that are happening in the background, as Mike Novogratz talks about. There's other things going on, so-called under the hood, that we're not aware of, the institutional investors and so on and so forth. But this is hopefully something that will happen very soon, and ETFs is going to make Bitcoin and EOS trade much higher. I appreciate you watching very much. Thank you.